Welcome back to our channel History Coins HD. As you that old as gold, but these Jefferson Nickel 5-cent coins that are most valuable than you think, don't spend one of them. You're lucky if you have one of these, so please watch complete video and find your treasure. Let's start this. Top 1, where we delve into the world of rare and valuable coins. Today, we have something truly fascinating to discuss, an iconic piece of American numismatic history. We're talking about the 1964 Jefferson Nickel, a coin that holds both historical significance and potential for surprising wealth. If you're a coin collector or just curious about what could be hiding in your old change jar, stick with us to the end, because this nickel might be worth more than you ever imagined. Now, let's take a journey back to 1964, a year that was pivotal not just in the world of currency, but also in the broader political and cultural landscape of the United States. 1964 marked the final year of minting for certain coin designs before significant changes were made to the composition of U.S. coins due to the rising cost of silver. This means that certain years of coins, including the 1964 Jefferson Nickel, are increasingly sought after by collectors, especially those in exceptional condition. The Jefferson Nickel itself, which was first introduced in 1938, has always been a beloved coin. The coin's design is both symbolic and patriotic. On the obverse side, you see a portrait of Thomas Jefferson, the third president of the United States. His likeness, created by artist Felix Schlag, has graced the front of this nickel since its inception. Jefferson was chosen for the design due to his critical role in the founding of the nation, and his face has become a recognizable symbol of American history and democracy. But what really makes the 1964 Jefferson Nickel stand out among other years? The answer lies not just in its historical context, but in its rare variants and the special characteristics that can make certain examples incredibly valuable. The standard 1964 Jefferson Nickel was minted in large numbers, so why does it hold such potential for collectors today? The key here is rarity and condition. As with any collectible item, the rarer it is, and the better its condition, the higher its value. In the case of the 1964 Jefferson Nickel, there are a few key details that can turn an otherwise ordinary coin into a true treasure. Some 1964 Jefferson Nickels were minted with a unique feature, what collectors refer to as a minting error. These errors occur when the coin isn't struck properly during the minting process, and they can make an otherwise common coin extraordinarily rare. For example, some 1964 Jefferson Nickels were mistakenly struck with a doubled die, which means the design was imprinted more than once, causing it to appear blurry or offset. These minting errors are highly sought after by collectors because they are extremely rare, and a single coin with a noticeable error can fetch thousands of dollars at auction. Another feature that increases the value of the 1964 Jefferson Nickel is the coin's condition. Most nickels from this time period were in heavy circulation, meaning they were used in everyday transactions and became worn and damaged over time. Coins that have been well preserved, especially those that have been kept in uncirculated condition, are extremely rare. Coins that have avoided the usual wear and tear are the ones that command the highest prices in the market. Even a small amount of wear can significantly reduce a coin's value, so collectors are always on the lookout for those coins that are in pristine condition. But how do you know if you have one of these valuable 1964 Jefferson Nickels? Well, it all comes down to careful inspection. If you happen to have a nickel from 1964 that looks like it has been kept in excellent condition, with no visible wear on Jefferson's portrait or on the reverse side of the coin, it could very well be worth a closer look. You should also check for any signs of minting errors, such as doubled dies or unusual features. A magnifying glass or a good jeweler's loupe can help you spot these details more easily. And now, let's talk about the value of these coins. While most 1964 Jefferson Nickels are worth only a few cents in their standard condition, those in exceptional shape or with unique minting errors can reach astronomical prices. In fact, some 1964 Jefferson Nickels have been known to sell for as much as $68,000 when found in mint condition or with rare errors. That's right, $68,000. For a single nickel, this incredible value is what makes the 1964 Jefferson Nickel one of the most intriguing and potentially profitable coins for collectors. Whether you're new to the world of numismatics or an experienced collector, knowing the history, rarity, and potential of this coin can give you a leg up in the market. But here's the key takeaway: before you rush to check your coin collection or dig through that jar of loose change, keep in mind that condition is everything. If you're lucky enough to find a 1964 Jefferson Nickel that has been well preserved or features a rare minting error, you could be holding onto a small fortune. So, what's the bottom line? The 1964 Jefferson nickel, though seemingly ordinary, could be hiding an extraordinary value. With its rich history, unique features, and the possibility of minting errors, this coin is one that every collector should keep an eye out for. And who knows? You might just have one tucked away in your collection right now, waiting to be discovered. Thank you for joining us today on this exciting journey into the world of rare coins. If you enjoyed this video and want to stay up to date with the latest coin finds and tips, be sure to hit the like button, subscribe to our channel, and ring the notification bell. We'll be back soon with more incredible coin stories and valuable tips for collectors. Until then, happy hunting, and remember, there's treasure everywhere if you know where to look. Top 2, we have an exciting coin to talk about, a coin that might just be sitting in your collection or even in your change jar, waiting to be discovered. We're talking about the 1975 Jefferson Nickel, a rare piece of American history that could be worth far more than you think. So, if you're curious about this fascinating coin, how to spot one, and its potential value, stick with us, because by the end of this video, you'll be eager to check your coin collection. Now, the 1975 Jefferson Nickel might not be the first coin that comes to mind when you think of rare American currency. After all, it's just a nickel, right? But don't be fooled. This seemingly ordinary coin holds a story that could lead to extraordinary wealth for the lucky collector who knows what to look for. The 1975 Jefferson Nickel, minted in Denver, was produced as part of a regular run of coins in that year. So what makes this coin so valuable? Let's dig into the details and see what sets it apart. First, let's set the scene. The year 1975 was a fascinating time in American history. It was the height of the post-Vietnam War era, and the country was experiencing both economic growth and cultural change. In the world of coinage, 1975 was a year that would see the production of millions of Jefferson nickels, most of which circulated in everyday transactions without much fanfare. But like with many coins, certain years or mints can be more significant than others, and the 1975 Jefferson Nickel is one of those hidden gems. The 1975 Jefferson Nickel features the familiar design that's been part of the series since 1938. On the obverse, you'll find the portrait of Thomas Jefferson, the third President of the United States. His likeness, created by artist Felix Schlag, has graced the face of the nickel for decades. Jefferson's image represents the founding principles of the United States and is a symbol of the nation's early years. On the reverse side of the coin, we see Monticello, Jefferson's beloved home in Virginia. This simple yet elegant design is a reminder of the nation's history and the legacy of one of its most influential figures. So, what makes the 1975 Jefferson Nickel stand out from other coins in the series? The answer lies in the potential for rare errors and minting variations. While the standard version of the 1975 Jefferson Nickel is not particularly rare in itself, there are certain versions of the coin that have become highly sought after due to minting defects or unusual characteristics. In particular, the 1975 nickel has been known to feature certain rare errors, such as double strikes or weak strikes, which occur when the coin is struck more than once or isn't pressed properly during the minting process. These errors are the real reason collectors have their eyes on this coin. In addition to minting errors, another factor that can significantly increase the value of the 1975 Jefferson Nickel is its condition. As with all collectible coins, the better the condition, the higher the value. Coins that have been in circulation for decades often show signs of wear, including scratches, discoloration, and other forms of damage. However, the 1975 Jefferson nickels that have been kept in pristine, uncirculated condition are extremely rare. A well-preserved example of this coin can be worth much more than one that has been used in daily transactions. These coins are highly coveted by collectors, and finding one in perfect condition is like discovering a hidden treasure. Now, let's talk about the true value of this coin. While most 1975 Jefferson nickels are worth just a few cents, a rare specimen with a significant minting error or one in exceptional condition can command a hefty price on the market. In fact, collectors have paid as much as $56,000 for a single 1975 Jefferson nickel in top condition, or one with a notable error. Yes, you heard that right, $56,000. For a nickel, that's because the rarity of these error coins, combined with the high demand from collectors, can make them incredibly valuable. Error coins, like the 1975 Jefferson Nickel with double strikes or weak strikes, are considered unique by collectors, and their scarcity makes them a highly prized addition to any collection. The more pronounced the error, the higher the value. So how can you tell if you have one of these rare, valuable coins? The key is in the details. First, check the condition of the coin. A coin that looks almost brand new, without any signs of wear or damage, might be worth more than you think. Next, look closely for any minting errors. A double strike will show an overlapping or blurry design, while a weak strike might result in faint details or an incomplete image. If you spot one of these errors, you could have a coin that's worth far more than its face value. It's also important to note that while the 1975D Jefferson Nickel is the most sought after, other years in the Jefferson Nickel series may also have valuable errors. But the 1975D stands out due to its particular variety of rare errors, making it one of the most exciting finds for collectors today. And now, the next question on your mind might be, how can I sell my rare 1975D Jefferson Nickel? There are several ways to go about it. The best method is to take it to a professional coin grader, who can assess its condition and any potential errors. If you don't already have a relationship with a reputable dealer, you might want to consider auction houses or online marketplaces that specialize in rare coins. There are collectors and investors out there willing to pay top dollar for coins like these, especially if they're in exceptional condition or feature a rare error. In conclusion, the 1975D Jefferson Nickel may seem like an ordinary coin, but with its potential for rare minting errors and its importance to collectors, it can actually be worth a small fortune. If you happen to have one of these coins in your collection, especially one in pristine condition or with a notable error, you could be holding onto a treasure worth up to $56,000. So, next time you go through your coin jar or browse through your collection, make sure to check for any 1975D Jefferson Nickels. You might just have one of these valuable coins hiding right under your nose. Thanks for watching, and be sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and ring the notification bell so you don't miss any future coin discoveries. Until next time. Top 3 video just might be the one that sparks your interest. We're diving into the world of one of the most intriguing and valuable coins in US history, the 1989P Jefferson Nickel. At first glance, this may seem like just another coin from the late 20th century, but trust me, there's much more to this seemingly ordinary nickel than meets the eye. So, grab your magnifying glass and stick around, because by the end of this video, you might just find yourself checking your pockets, your drawers, and your coin jars for a rare treasure. Let's take a step back and think about 1989 for a moment. It was a year of change and transition in the United States. The country was adjusting to the post-Cold War world, and politically, the 1980s had seen significant shifts under the Reagan administration. In the world of currency, however, it was just another year for the U.S. Mint to produce millions of Jefferson nickels as part of regular circulation. But while most of these coins went into the hands of everyday Americans, a select few would quietly become rare and highly valuable collector's items. The Jefferson nickel, a staple of U.S. coinage, has been around since 1938. On the obverse, we see the familiar portrait of Thomas Jefferson, the third president of the United States. The reverse side, which features Monticello, Jefferson's estate in Virginia, has also remained a constant feature of the coin's design. It's a design that symbolizes the rich history of the United States and the legacy of one of its founding fathers. However, the 1989P Jefferson Nickel stands out in a way that most of the other coins from this series don't. While the standard 1989P nickel is relatively common, the real value in this coin lies in the possibility of finding rare minting errors or unique features. And if you happen to have one of these rare versions, it could be worth much more than the typical 5-cent value. One of the key factors that make the 1989P Jefferson Nickel so desirable to collectors is its potential for minting errors. In the world of numismatics, minting errors are among the most sought-after types of coins. These errors happen when the minting process doesn't go as planned, whether it's a double strike, an off-center strike, or a misaligned die. When a coin is struck incorrectly, it can create a one-of-a-kind piece that's much more valuable than a standard coin. For collectors, these errors are like finding a needle in a haystack. And when it comes to the 1989P Jefferson Nickel, there are a few specific errors that have been known to make these coins worth a significant amount of money. One of the most famous and valuable errors on the 1989P Jefferson Nickel is the wide AM error. In this variant, the letters A and M and the word America on the reverse of the coin are spaced farther apart than they should be. This minor mistake in the minting process can be a goldmine for collectors, as only a small number of these wide AM varieties exist. So, if you happen to find one of these in your collection, you could be sitting on a rare gem that could fetch you a substantial amount in the right market. Another important factor that can make the 1989 Jefferson nickel more valuable is its condition. Like most collectible coins, the condition in which the coin has been preserved plays a huge role in determining its worth. While most of the 1989 nickels that were circulated have signs of wear and tear, finding one in uncirculated condition is a real rarity. Coins that have been kept in pristine condition, free from scratches, discoloration, or other forms of damage, are worth much more than those that have been in everyday use. An uncirculated 1989 Jefferson nickel with no visible damage and in flawless condition can command a premium price from collectors, who are always on the lookout for well-preserved examples. So, how do you know if your 1989 Jefferson nickel is worth a significant amount of money? The first step is to inspect the coin carefully. Look for any signs of minting errors, such as the wide AM error we mentioned earlier. If you notice any spacing irregularities in the letters or any other unusual features, you may have stumbled upon a rare find. Be sure to use a magnifying glass or a loupe to get a closer look at the finer details. If the coin has been well preserved, with no scratches, fading, or discoloration, it could be worth even more. And now, let's talk about the big question: just how much can a 1989 Jefferson nickel be worth? While a typical 1989 nickel is worth only 5 cents, one that has been well preserved or features a rare error can fetch far more. Some of the most valuable 1989 Jefferson nickels with significant minting errors or those in pristine, uncirculated condition have been sold for up to $46,000. Yes, that's right, $46,000. That's the kind of money you could be looking at if you have one of these rare, error-laden coins in your possession. It's hard to believe that a simple 5-cent coin could carry such a high value, but in the world of coin collecting, rarity and condition are everything. So, next time you're flipping through your coins, remember that the 1989 Jefferson nickel could be hiding something special. To wrap it all up, the 1989 Jefferson nickel may seem like just another ordinary coin at first glance, but with its potential for minting errors, its historical significance, and its rarity in top condition, it could be worth far more than you ever imagined. If you happen to come across one of these valuable coins, whether it's the wide AM variety or one in pristine, uncirculated condition, you could be holding onto a small fortune. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed learning about the 1989 Jefferson nickel and want to discover more rare and valuable coins, be sure to hit the like button, subscribe to our channel, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss a coin discovery. Who knows? Your next coin could be worth thousands. Until next time. Top 4. If you're into rare and valuable coins, today's video will have you on the edge of your seat. We're diving into the fascinating world of the 1973 Jefferson nickel, a coin that you might think is just a regular nickel, but in reality, could be hiding a treasure worth thousands, yes, even tens of thousands of dollars. So, whether you're an experienced collector or just beginning your numismatic journey, stick around because by the end of this video, you'll be looking at your change in a whole new way. First, let's set the scene. The year 1973 might seem like a long time ago, but it was a defining year in American history. The country was deep in the middle of the post-Vietnam War era, and President Richard Nixon was still in office, dealing with the ongoing effects of the Watergate scandal. Meanwhile, in the world of coinage, the United States Mint was busy producing millions of Jefferson nickels, most of which ended up in the pockets of everyday Americans and circulated without much fanfare. However, not all Jefferson nickels from 1973 are created equal. While the vast majority of them are still common and have little value beyond their face value of 5 cents, there's a rare and highly valuable version that's been attracting the attention of serious collectors. So what makes the 1973 Jefferson nickel so special? Well, it's not just the design or its age, it's the condition and the potential for minting errors that can make this coin a true treasure. As you probably know, the Jefferson nickel has been around since 1938, and the design has remained relatively consistent over the years. On the obverse, we have the profile of Thomas Jefferson, the third president of the United States. His image, created by artist Felix Schlag, is a symbol of American history and the ideals upon which the nation was founded. On the reverse, we see the image of Monticello, Jefferson's Virginia home, which serves as a reminder of the president's legacy and connection to the land he helped shape. Now, let's get to the good stuff. Why is the 1973 Jefferson nickel worth so much, and what should you be looking for if you want to find a rare and valuable one? The key factor to keep in mind is minting errors. These errors occur during the coin production process, and when they happen, they can result in unique and one-of-a-kind coins. And when it comes to the 1973 Jefferson nickel, one error in particular has made these coins incredibly sought after by collectors: the double die error. A double die occurs when the coin's die is struck multiple times during the minting process, resulting in a blurring or doubling of the design. This can happen in various parts of the coin, but when it occurs on the portrait of Thomas Jefferson or the words E pluribus unum on the reverse, it makes the coin exceptionally rare and valuable. A 1973 Jefferson nickel with a double die error can command a price that far exceeds the usual 5-cent face value. Double die errors like this are incredibly rare, and it's not every day that you come across one. So how can you tell if you have a 1973 Jefferson nickel with this rare error? The key is in the details. You'll need to carefully inspect the coin under magnification, such as a jeweler's loupe or a magnifying glass, to look for any signs of doubling. The doubling will appear as a shift or a shadow-like effect on the design, especially noticeable on Jefferson's portrait or on the lettering. If you spot this type of error, you could be holding a highly valuable coin that might not only be worth more than face value, but thousands of dollars. But it's not just minting errors that can drive the value of the 1973 Jefferson nickel up. The condition of the coin also plays a major role. Like any other collectible item, the better the condition, the higher the value. Coins that have been in circulation for decades often show signs of wear, such as scratches, discoloration, or other forms of damage. However, a 1973 Jefferson nickel that has been kept in mint condition, with no visible signs of wear and with sharp, clear details, is extremely rare. These coins are prized by collectors because they're difficult to find in perfect condition. Even a small amount of wear can significantly lower the coin's value. If you're lucky enough to find a 1973 Jefferson nickel in uncirculated condition, whether it has a double die error or not, it will still likely fetch a higher price than a coin that's been worn down over time. Collectors are always on the lookout for coins that are well preserved, and these pristine examples can be worth significantly more than their face value. Now, let's get to the big question: just how much is the 1973 Jefferson nickel worth? While most of the 1973 nickels are still valued at just 5 cents, the rare versions of this coin can be worth a fortune. If you happen to find a 1973 Jefferson nickel with a double die error or in near-perfect condition, it could be worth up to $60,000. Yes, that's right, $60,000 for a single coin. That's the kind of money that can make any coin collector's heart race. Imagine finding a coin worth that much just sitting in your collection or tucked away in an old jar of loose change. It's no wonder why collectors are willing to pay top dollar for these rare specimens. The demand for error coins like the 1973 Jefferson nickel is high, and the more pristine and error-free the coin, the more valuable it becomes. So, how do you go about selling your rare 1973 Jefferson nickel if you happen to find one? The best course of action is to get it professionally graded by a trusted coin grading service. These services will evaluate the coin's condition, authenticity, and any potential minting errors, which will help establish its market value. Once it's graded, you can either sell it through a reputable coin dealer or auction it to the highest bidder. Either way, having a rare, error-free 1973 Jefferson nickel in your possession could make you a pretty penny. To wrap things up, the 1973 Jefferson nickel may seem like just another coin from the 1970s, but if you know what to look for, especially if you find one with a double die error or in excellent condition, you could be holding onto a valuable piece of American numismatic history. Whether you're a seasoned collector or just getting started, always keep an eye out for these rare gems. Thank you for watching today's video. If you enjoyed learning about the 1973 Jefferson nickel and want to see more rare coin discoveries, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss a valuable find. Who knows? Your next coin could be worth tens of thousands of dollars. Until next time. Top 5. If you're a fan of rare coins, get ready for an exciting journey because today we're diving deep into one of the most sought-after Jefferson nickels out there, the 1971 Jefferson nickel. At first glance, this may seem like just another coin from the early 70s, but don't let its simple appearance fool you. This coin could be hiding a rare, valuable secret that could make you a small fortune. Stick with us until the end, because we'll be revealing exactly how much this rare nickel could be worth. The 1971 Jefferson nickel was minted at the Denver Mint, just like many other coins from that era. But what sets this particular coin apart from the rest isn't the design, as it carries the same familiar features that have been on the Jefferson nickel for years. On the obverse, you'll find the profile of Thomas Jefferson, the third President of the United States, etched in the unmistakable style of Felix Schlag, the artist behind the original design. On the reverse, there's the iconic image of Monticello, Jefferson's Virginia home, standing proudly as a symbol of American history and heritage. So, what makes the 1971 D. Jefferson nickel so special? Let's take a closer look. While the majority of these coins were produced in regular quantities for circulation, there's something about the 1971 D. Jefferson nickel that has caught the eye of collectors. As with many valuable coins, the key to their worth often lies in their rarity and condition. Coins that were struck in large numbers are generally considered more common, but when something unusual happens during the minting process, like an error or anomaly, that coin can become a true treasure. This is exactly what happened with certain 1971 D. Jefferson nickels. One of the key factors that make the 1971 D. Jefferson nickel so valuable is the potential for minting errors. The world of coin collecting is full of enthusiasts hunting for coins that feature these rare errors. Minting errors occur when the machinery or the dies used to strike the coins malfunction or produce inconsistent results. When this happens, it can cause unusual patterns, misprints, or striking flaws that make the coin unique and highly desirable. One of the most interesting and valuable errors found in the 1971 D. Jefferson nickel is the double die error. A double die occurs when the die used to strike the coin makes multiple impressions, leading to a visible doubling of certain elements of the design. This error often occurs on the letters, numbers, or even the portrait of the coin itself. In the case of the 1971 D. Jefferson nickel, you may notice the letters on the reverse of the coin or even Thomas Jefferson's portrait appear to be doubled, giving the coin a distinctive, layered look. This error is rare, and finding one in good condition is even rarer. Another factor that can significantly boost the value of the 1971 D. Jefferson nickel is the condition of the coin. Like most collectible coins, the better the condition, the more valuable it becomes. A coin that has been in circulation for many years may show signs of wear, such as scratches, fading, or discoloration. However, if you happen to find a 1971 D. Jefferson nickel in mint or near mint condition, you could be sitting on a small treasure. Coins that have been well preserved, with sharp, clear details and no visible signs of wear, are highly prized by collectors. These coins can be worth much more than their face value, sometimes even thousands of dollars more. And now, let's talk about the market value. While a typical 1971 D. Jefferson nickel is only worth 5 cents, the rare ones, especially those with minting errors like the double die, can command an extraordinary price. As with any valuable coin, the more rare and well preserved it is, the more collectors will be willing to pay for it. If you happen to have a 1971 D. Jefferson nickel with a double die error or one in mint condition, you could be looking at a coin worth up to $64,000. Yes, you heard that correctly, $64,000 for a single coin. Imagine that. A nickel that was minted to be worth just 5 cents could potentially bring you $64,000 if it has the right features, such as a minting error or an exceptional state of preservation. That's the kind of hidden value that makes coin collecting so exciting, and it's exactly why collectors are constantly on the lookout for rare, error-laden coins like the 1971 D. Jefferson Nickel. So, how can you spot one of these rare coins? The first step is to inspect the coin carefully. Start by looking at the areas that are most likely to show doubling, like the lettering or the portrait of Jefferson himself. Use a magnifying glass or a jeweler's loupe to get a closer look at the finer details of the coin. The doubling will appear as a kind of shadow or extra set of lines around the design, giving it a blurred or thickened appearance. If you spot this kind of doubling, you may have a valuable coin on your hands. Next, check the overall condition of the coin. A coin that has been well preserved, with no signs of wear, discoloration, or damage, is far more valuable than a heavily circulated one. If your 1971 D. Jefferson Nickel looks like it's been carefully stored and protected from the elements, it could be worth significantly more than its face value. If you find a 1971 D. Jefferson Nickel with a double die error or in mint condition, it's important to have the coin professionally graded. A reputable coin grading service will assess the coin's authenticity, condition, and any minting errors it may have. This grading process will determine the coin's market value and can help you sell it for the highest possible price. Once graded, you can choose to sell it through an auction, to a coin dealer, or through a private sale to the highest bidder. In conclusion, the 1971 D. Jefferson nickel may seem like just another coin from the early 70s, but for collectors, it's a rare gem that could be worth a small fortune. With the potential for minting errors like the double die, combined with the importance of condition, this coin is definitely one you'll want to keep an eye out for. If you find a rare 1971 D. Jefferson nickel, don't be surprised if it ends up fetching an impressive price. Thank you for tuning into today's video. If you're as excited as we are about discovering rare coins, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and click the notification bell so you never miss another exciting coin discovery. Who knows, your next find could be worth thousands. Until next time, happy hunting, and may your coin collection continue to grow.